Get ready to start raking leaves. This is the last official week of summer. So to start this week's Explore Tulsa, let's check in to see what's cooking.
Then watercraft on the river.
Followed by space exploration at home.
Plus getting framed by a unique Tulsa artist.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. It's really great to see you here with us once again for more Explore Tulsa. Stevie, is summer really over this week?
Yep, September 22nd. But according to a YouGov survey, fall is the favorite season for over 30% of America.
Oh, I could see that with all the different leaf colors all around Tulsa.
All I see is those leaves all over the yard, and I have to pick them up.
What you need is a different perspective of life. The kind that Chef Jeff Marlowe and Greg Raskin work with every day at the Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma.
From an outsider looking in, hearing the name, I thought it was probably a soup kitchen until I actually got over here and realized, oh my goodness, this is way more than just a soup kitchen.
The food bank feeds the equivalent of about 339,000 meals every week throughout eastern Oklahoma. Our service area is the 24 eastern counties of Oklahoma, and we have partner programs in each of those counties. We have a total of 450 programs that we supply food and products to. The Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma has created the first commercial kitchen and a food bank in the Feeding America network. And the idea was to be able to maximize the use of product that was on the verge of going bad. So the idea for the kitchen was to utilize product, whether it was a pallet of tomatoes and they could convert it into tomato sauce, they could then freeze it and then use it at a later date for something that came up.
We've got two food trucks. We call them mobile eateries. We got the Mobile Eatery 1 and the Mobile Eatery 2. We provide hot meals that we take out to identified areas in our network that we know that there's large populations of poverty in those areas. And so we go out and we serve a completely free meal off of each one of the trucks Monday through Friday. We try to average around 200 to 300 meals a day off of each truck.
It's a lot of families that are served through our programs who are the working poor. They have at least one member of the family who's working and they're just not making ends meet. SNAP benefits often help, but for most families they don't last to the end of the month. So a lot of the programs that we serve act as a bridge for people who just can't make their food dollars last through the end of the month, pay their utilities, pay for medical bills, and a lot of these are families with children, and for children it's really crucial because they're having brain and growth development, and if they get behind at an early age, it's a hard deficit to catch up from.
And we try to keep it fresh because even though you're hungry and you're in need, you don't want to eat the same thing over and over again. So we try to, I try to picture like I'm still working at a 5-star restaurant, and I'm going to take what I have and make the very best meal out of it to provide to these folks. We also teach a culinary trade program, the Lobeck-Taylor Culinary Trade Program here at the food bank that I take participants in that need a second chance in life. We get these young adults in our class, and we're able to train them for 16 weeks in a commercial kitchen and give them an opportunity to learn teamwork, to learn a good attitude, a working attitude, to learn attendance.
And I've watched Jeff with those people, and he's really a mentor. He really takes a personal interest in them, and he wants to go beyond just giving them knife skills, cooking skills, baking skills. He provides them with life skills, a work ethic, and really gets them prepared to reintegrate into the workforce and into society.
We're just not trying to push the people out the door just to say that we've got numbers. If I graduate somebody, I'm going to say they're job ready, and I feel I can call one of my friends in the food industry and give them a reference and say, hey, give this guy a chance. He's just went through 16 weeks of boot camp.
When you see how great the need is, even the people who are here, who are removed a step from feeding people, they know the impact of their jobs. I talk to people who work in our warehouse on a daily basis, and they know that what they do really matters. And I've had several of the guys talk to me and say, you know, I could probably make more money elsewhere, but I know at the end of the day I've really helped somebody.
I'm using my talent to go out and make a difference in our community and help people that are in need. So I love it.
I tell you what, Trish, that place is amazing. When we were heading over there, I really didn't expect to see such an incredible operation.
Well, it takes a lot to feed over 300,000 people each week, Stevie. And if you'd like to help or join in for their farm-to-table fair dinner, visit okfoodbank.org to make your reservations for this wonderful fundraiser.
I don't see how Chef gets all of those meals planned together. I only had 4 kids, and getting groceries for them drove me crazy.
Well, maybe you just need to start simple, like preparing snacks for a crew out of the great Tulsa Raft Race.
That's gotta be easy, and we'll learn all about it when we come back with more Explore Tulsa. Hey, it's Stevie from Explore Tulsa with my friend and optometrist for many years, Dr. Robert Zellner. Tell everybody why it's so good to come in to see you.
Well, that's a great question. Let's see, we've got 2 great locations. We try to stay cutting edge at every point along the way because let's face it, everybody wants to come in and get taken care of in a timely fashion and get the latest, greatest stuff and save some money and get on with their life. And see clearly.
And if you don't believe it, look on the website.
Absolutely, drzellner.com. You can find that we have our 2 locations at 69th and Memorial and 3030 South Harvard, or you can give us a call at 749-2020 or 461-2020.
And I got 4 kids, and I gotta tell you, as a big family like that, it's affordable too.
Oh yes, and of course, the number one reason, you save some money. I mean, with our 2-pair specials, with our different unique packages that we put together, I mean, you can come in here and your money can go a lot farther than anywhere else.
And that's why with Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates, seeing is believing.
Oh, I like that, Stevie. Well done.
Are your memories fading?
And no, not the ones stored in your little gray cells. The memories you've collected on those old VHS camcorders.
Or even that beat-up Super 8.
Video Revolution can restore your memories from any outdated format and return them to you in a DVD or Blu-ray form.
That way you can relive the past on the big screen.
We can even produce digital copies for you to share with your families or friends online.
Check us out on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Hi, I'm Ken Tracy, Executive Director of Corgus Productions, and you are watching Explore Tulsa.
Hello, shipmates, and welcome to the Explore Tulsa River Cruise.
I love the way you did that. You're not getting me on one of those rafts, though. I've seen Gilligan's Island several times, and I know that it all starts innocent, but then we have one of those earthquakes or weird summer storms that we've been having, and my crew ends up shipwrecked at one of the casinos.
Stevie, this event has a long history that goes back to 1973, and there's never been a shipwreck.
There's always a first time, Trish.
Well, I'm happy to report that this year's Great Tulsa Raft Race was wreck-free, but was full of great fun.
I did a lot of research when determining, trying to bring this back and the roadblocks and why it went away. And fortunately, I got to meet with Ken Greenwood from KRMG Radio, who was, I believe, the program director when they started the Raft Race in 1973. And unfortunately, he's passed away now, but he told me a lot of really cool stories about getting the thing going and running it for the first few years. So we learned a lot from him. We worked in the background for 2 or 3 years probably before we really launched. Myself and a few other individuals from Tulsa Young Professionals is really where this idea came from. And we wanted to do something to highlight the river in Tulsa. I mean, we felt like it was our biggest unused asset, and a lot of times there's no water in it, but we still felt like the economic development and quality of life that can be added by trying to activate the river, even if it's just one day a year, it can kind of paint a picture for the possibility of what this might look like when we have low water dams and a whitewater park. So that was really the driving forces. We wanted to paint the picture of what can the river look like if it's actually being used. So I think that, I hope that we've been successful in that. I think we have. we're ecstatic with the turnout. The park is full. So we roughly have the same participants as last year. And I don't know about the attendance, but I would assume it's more than it was last year. It's a good pastime to get your hands dirty and design something and build it, and it's brought people together, you know, doing that raft building activity. Kids, you know, there's multiple schools in the race that use it as a STEM science project. So it's just, the demographics are wide. No, I don't think a lot of people did float tests for sure. I think we've had less sink at launch than we did last year. So I guess maybe folks are learning something. The planning committee and board, I mean, we couldn't be happier with all the support. I mean, it really does take a village to do something like this, and to be so well received by the region, the city, the county. You know, we're ecstatic.
Those people are crazy, but they sure look like they were having a terrific time.
Well, to get ready for next year's event, you better start working on your vessel now, and keep an eye out for more details at TulsaRaftRace.com.
I would have liked to have seen some SpaceXer shoot a rocket off from their craft.
Probably not the safest thing to do from the Arkansas River, but the guys who would know best have to be our next guests.
Ooh, that's gonna be so cool too when we hang out with Tulsa Rocketry coming up with more Explore Tulsa.
Have you outgrown your home entertainment system? Then it's time to step up with Video Revolution and Sony for the ultimate 4K home theater experience. Size does matter when it comes to the quality and enjoyment that you get from a home entertainment system. Engineered by the experts at Video Revolution on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Hello, I'm John Erling with Voices of Oklahoma. Our great state has been home to countless individuals whose place in history has been earned through each of their many accomplishments. Voices of Oklahoma's mission is to preserve their story in an oral history presentation like none other. Accounts direct from famous Oklahomans, political figures, and many others who have left their indelible mark on the development, history, and future of Oklahoma. So please, treat yourself by listening to those who are the voices of Oklahoma.
Look at us. We woke up one morning with every song that ever mattered to anyone. So now what? Music's meant to be heard, out loud, where your life happens, where you dance, where you love, and where you live. When everyone has every song ever written, what matters most is how you listen.
Come hear for yourself at Video Revolution.
Hi there. At Explore Tulsa, we know that at one time or another, every kid has thought about being an astronaut.
And when you got a little older, maybe you thought, how cool would it be to shoot a rocket up into the far reaches, like the guys at Tulsa Rocketry?
As a kid, as a youth, I would fly the little rockets, and then, of course, you move on and you do other things. And then my kids, my son actually was in an after-school science club and built a little model rocket and said, "Dad, can we go fly this?" And I remembered that there was this thing out in Pawhuska, this launch. I said, well, let's go out there and fly it. So we went out there, he flew a rocket. His twin sister said, well, can I have one too? Well, this is a great way to spend time with my kids, to, you know, have some fun with them. Well, they moved on, like all kids do, and I kept the hobby. So the name of the organization is Tulsa Rocketry. We're a local nonprofit organization. Our mission is to promote rocketry, to educate youth and adults on rocketry, and then to provide a safe environment for people to go launch rockets and do it within national, state, local laws, take care of that, and just provide that environment for people to pursue rocketry. it's a good gateway into science and technology, engineering, math, and STEM stuff, because you really have to, when you move up the skill level, you really need to understand kind of the physics that are going on. You need to understand the math. It's also good, work with your hands skill set. You have to build things, you have to put it together. You get good at, preparing and going through the process of getting these rockets, because as you go up in size, they get more complicated. It takes more to make them work. One of the things that we do is education. That's one of our primary missions. We do local events, for example, Mini Maker Fair. We're out here exhibiting. We also will be involved with the schools, and when they have like a science night or a STEM night, they'll invite us in. We'll go set up a display like we do here, go teach the kids about rocketry, and we work with Boy Scouts. We'll go to their events, we'll go actually shoot rockets off, we'll go do a demonstration, and then through just people attending our launches, attending our monthly meetings, everybody that's involved with rocketry loves to talk about it. We love to teach people, help them progress in it, whether they're doing the little small Estes rockets or the larger rockets that a lot of our members are involved in. One of the events that we have coming up is called High Frontier. This is our 13th year doing it at the Pawhuska Municipal Airport. We've worked with them, the City of Pawhuska and the Chamber of Commerce and local merchants to put this on. It's free to attend. We have a lot of kids show up. Kids can fly free out there. We draw high power flyers from surrounding states. They come out, fly larger rockets. We actually work with the FAA. We have a waiver to 20,000 feet. So you see some really exciting rockets go up out there. Ultimately is at least once go out to the desert in Nevada where they have a 100,000 foot waiver and put something up as close to that as I can. But there's a huge engineering challenge with that. But that's kind of where I'd like to go, is just see how high and how fast I could go, just for the challenge of doing it.
What do you think, Trish? I put a little gunpowder, some rocket fuel into this. I could probably get this baby up about a mile in the sky.
Whew, I think you're gonna end up blowing us all up. So how about instead you join the club at TulsaRocketry.org to learn about all the safest ways to build and launch a rocket first.
Maybe I'll work on my other hobby, art.
Ooh, that sounds much safer. And our next guest, Paul Timshel, can help you create a piece showing your rocket going up in the air. That way, nobody gets hurt, and we get to continue with more Explore Tulsa just ahead.
You're such a fun sucker.
Like, parents have a thing, when it gets too quiet in the home, we're worried. You know what I mean? I don't like silence in the home because it just feels dead.
Silence, that just doesn't feel like a creative place to me.
Turning on music in your house is almost like turning on the lights in your house.
Music makes mundane stuff better. And it's never too late to discover new things.
You just never know what song's gonna come on next.
Silence is probably the enemy of a happy home.
Come here for yourself at Video Revolution.
I want to get a new TV. There's like 1,000 different brands, all with different features. I wish I could make sense of it all. What do you think is best?
You should go to Video Revolution. Their experts will tell you everything you need to know.
They carry the latest LED and 4K TVs and will even install it and set it up for you too.
She's right. You wouldn't talk to anyone but your dentist about your bicuspid. So when it comes to home entertainment, only trust the experts at Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Great to still have you with us for more Explore Tulsa. With fall officially hitting us this week, we can't help but think about all the great color that surrounds T-Town this time of year.
And there's no better person to talk color than one of our own local artists. Paul Timshel lets us into his studio to learn his unique way of capturing and featuring the colors he uses in his work.
I had high marks in grade school. I had a teacher that had sent home a report card, and she actually wanted to adopt me. In high school, I had someone that kind of took me under his wing, and I ended up going to college with a scholarship. Well, I was studying with someone who was into animals and architecture and insects, and he started doing a series of insects. And through that series of insects, I drew about 8 different bugs in a series, and then provided a portfolio and got a few scholars. I got 1 scholarship and several people that wanted me at their school. I do mostly landscapes, cityscapes, and stick mostly with abstract. I've been doing these light boxes for the last few years, and they've really taken off. It's interesting that it started out with fluorescent lighting, and then with LEDs, it's so much cooler, so much more flexibility, and that kind of enabled me to install it inside of a close quarters. It's actually a paint that's designed for plastics, so I paint it directly either to the back of the glass or to Mylar, and it sticks really well. Sometimes I'll put several pieces in layers or on top, and then some behind. I like to go for color, and cityscapes are always really fun. I did a St. Anthony. He was in really bad shape. Originally it was in a church in North Tulsa, and then it lived in an attic for about 30 years. And then I brought it down out of the attic and brought it back to life. I did a piece for St. Mary's Church. I restored a nativity set for Christ the King. And then Monsignor Muggenberg turned around and found another nativity set, just like the one I had just finished. And so I have 2 nativity sets over there restored. I also did a series of religious figures, Italian religious figures for St. Joseph's Church in Oklahoma City. Right after the Oklahoma City bombing of the Murrah building, they got knocked off the wall, and the pieces just shattered all over the floors. And they got all the pieces back together as best they could and handed them to me. And of course there were some missing. So we had to reconstruct and repaint them. Well, you know, you pick absolute favorites, and then you have to top that, and so it's always kind of dangerous, but I always like to go for the color and the composition and the pattern, and then the amount of light that can float around the subject and not just shine through it. Those are my favorites. That's what makes this one, is the illumination around the edges of the piece. Well, there's some satisfactions in between the frustrations, and it's mostly you just have to stick to it and really want to do it.
Man, that Paul is very patient and trading out all those different colored cells until he finds just the right combination to bring his art to life.
He does have a great grasp on the use of color. And to see more of his work, visit paultimshel.com to learn more.
I was really fascinated by his restorations too. Putting each piece of those statues back together from the Oklahoma City bombing, I'm gonna try to put something like that back together.
Oh yeah, really? Like what?
Well, I kind of broke your favorite coffee mug earlier today.
Are you kidding me?
No worries, I think I got most of the pieces, and it shouldn't take me more than 2-3 months to get it all back together. It's art, Trish.
Stick around. We'll be back with more Explore Tulsa.
Our most beautiful 4K HDR TV. Easily manage your cables for even a clean rear look. It hangs flat on the wall, just like a piece of art. Yet its slimness creates astounding images. Experience new discoveries with Android TV by getting instant access to everything you need. Introducing the latest Sony 4K HDR TV.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get one pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my two-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
We're the Spotlight Theater performers.
And you're watching Explore Tulsa.
Be sure and join us next week when we meet Doug Jackson. He's building a ship in his North Tulsa front yard.
Special thanks to Greg Raskin and Chef Jeff Marlowe for teaching us about the Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma.
Well, thanks too to Seth Erkenbeck and all those responsible for bringing back the great Tulsa Raft Race. And thanks to Paul Reed for introducing us to Tulsa Rocketry and another great hobby for Tulsa families to enjoy.
Also, thanks to Paul Timshel for showing us his work in the abstract, photorealism, and mixed media arts.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
And hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.